So let me just begin the speech by thanking you for inviting me and my administration colleagues who will be here to speak with you this morning and this afternoon. We are deeply appreciative of the opportunity to weigh in on some of the critical issues that we're facing and that you're facing, that we're facing together. Now, as you all know, as President Obama has said many times, as anyone who in any American community will tell you, the top priority in this administration is to spark good jobs, the creation of good jobs for American workers. Today I want to talk to you about why protecting human health and the environment is an important part of that broad effort. The fact is that updating environmental standards, which we do to protect American families from things like mercury and acid gases and other toxic pollutants that cause asthma and lung disease, especially in children, create a good economic climate for investment and good jobs for American workers. Since EPA's inception, we have heard concerns that the costs of meeting reasonable health standards hurt bottom lines and prevent job creation. But in truth, updating environmental standards not only close pollution loopholes, but level the playing field, then provide certainty to businesses to create jobs. In fact, we've reaped widespread economic benefits by facing our health and environmental challenges as a country, and we have the opportunity to continue to do so today. Let's take the most obvious example, energy efficiency. A 2009 study estimated that $520 billion invested in energy efficiency today would net $1.2 trillion in energy savings through 2020. $2 in savings for every dollar we invested. That's one reason President Obama visited Penn State last week, where they're working to make America home to the most energy efficient buildings in the world. There, the president announced the Better Buildings Initiative, which aims to achieve a 20% improvement in energy efficiency by 2020. That initiative will significantly reduce, absolutely, better buildings. That initiative will significantly reduce pollution in our air. It's set to reduce companies and business owners' energy bills by about $40 billion per year. It'll save energy by reforming outdated incentives and challenging the private sector to act. And when we talk about challenging the private sector to act, we're talking about creating good jobs. For those reasons and more, we want to make environmental protection and environmental technology a central piece of our effort to win the future. Along with some very difficult spending cuts, the president is calling for investments in our schools and teachers, our innovators and small businesses, and the infrastructure that keeps our economy running, essential ingredients to a robust green economy. Like any good business, we want to invest in the places that will bring the highest return. So to win the future, we need the best educated workforce, like the students I met recently at St. Philip's College in San Antonio, Texas. This is a community college training students in cutting-edge clean energy technology and putting it to work to help power not only their school but their community, all to prepare those students for the clean energy jobs we can all create. To win the future, we need the strongest infrastructure, like across the state of Texas and El Paso, where they're pioneering the use of charging stations for electric vehicles. That kind of infrastructure is going to be critical to meet this administration's goal to have 1 million advanced technology vehicles on the road by 2015. 1 million. And of course, that's just the beginning, because we need the best roads and bridges and airports to carry our products, carry our people. We will need a reliable, smart grid to efficiently carry clean energy. We will need a robust information infrastructure to connect students and teachers, innovators and entrepreneurs, companies and consumers, and to unleash the possibilities of collaboration and exploration. And while we're at it, it's critical that we have a modern environmental infrastructure to safeguard clean water and clean air, and protect the lands where we build our homes and our schools and our businesses. Winning the race for the future means winning the race for innovation. The history of environmental protection has been a history of innovation. Innovation made every single thing we do cleaner, healthier, and more efficient, and led to the creation of good jobs. The catalytic converters that are manufactured to reduce toxic air pollution from our cars. The invention of more effective water treatment mechanisms to free our drinking water of lead, or smoke scrubbers that are installed to keep sulfuric acid pollution out of the air that we breathe. All those things mean new orders for American companies that manufacture that equipment, jobs for the American workers in those companies. Innovation has to be our future as well. I saw that a few weeks ago when I visited Cincinnati, where I joined Administrator Karen Mills from the U.S. Small Business Administration to announce a water technology innovation cluster, a partnership between EPA's labs in Cincinnati area and a cluster of local entrepreneurs and businesses working on water technology innovation that will address contaminants and protect our health and create small business commercialization opportunities, creating jobs. It's what I saw the next day, too, when I traveled to Ann Arbor, Michigan, to our lab there, and there with the CEO of Chrysler announced that EPA is teaming up with the automaker to develop hydraulic hybrid technology for use in American vehicles, an innovation that can increase fuel economy by 35%, and that means decreasing air pollution. EPA plays an important role in each of these efforts, but we have another unique and very important role in job creation. Our most fundamental responsibility is protecting the health of the American people, and it's something they would refuse to do without. When people turn on the shower or make a cup of coffee, they want their water protected from industrial pollution and sewage sludge. They want to be able to drive without breathing dangerous lead pollution. When each of us sits down to eat lunch, I'm sure we prefer our food with more, not less, protection from pesticides. Those health protections mean a productive workforce, fewer sick days for employees, and consumers that are spending less on medical bills and more on the economy. The Clean Air Act alone, just one signature environmental and health law, has provided trillions of dollars in health benefits to the American people. And since its inception, air pollution has dropped over the last 40 years, while our national GDP has risen by 207%. The total benefits of the Clean Air Act amount to more than 40 times the cost of regulation. For every $1 we have spent, we have gotten $40 of benefits in return. So you say what you want about EPA's business sense. We know how to get a return on our investment. Hey. The irony is that one of the most economically successful programs in American history, something the American people have done for themselves, is also one of the most economically maligned. It is a perfect example of why we must shift this conversation. In a time of such polarized debates, we need to take a step back and recognize that environmental protection and economic growth can and do go hand in hand. At this very moment, EPA scientists and technicians are working side by side with innovative small businesses in Cincinnati and developing technology in collaboration with one of Detroit's big three. EPA thrives on the innovation and entrepreneurship of our green markets, which have given us products like the catalytic converter and smokestack scrubbers. Rather than harming growth, EPA's standards help create opportunities for businesses to grow and thrive. This is not just a theoretical idea. Recent EPA research on a number of reputable economic studies has shown a clear connection between reasonable health safeguards and job creation. Our research indicates that environmental protection in the form of safeguards and standards that protect our health and that the American people demand is responsible for net positive job gains all across this country. In other words, environmental protection creates jobs, 1.7 million of them as of 2008. The environmental protection industry has grown steadily between 2000 and 2008, yielding approximately $300 billion in revenues. Recognizing these job-creating possibilities is critical in this moment. It is important, as special interests try to gut our safeguards like the Clean Air Act, thank you, that EPA has worked for and under for decades. And while special interests try to find loopholes so big polluters can skirt other common sense health protections. It is important to recognize these possibilities at a time when American companies have a record amount of cash holdings and liquid assets. The Wall Street Journal recently reported that number as $1.93 trillion. Even a portion of that $1.93 trillion invested in developing and installing new pollution control technology would result in good jobs right here for American workers. Now, we know that companies need regulatory certainty before they will invest and create jobs. It's something we've seen before. A 2010 study from the Institute of Clean Air Companies estimated that since 2003, the implementation of one of our rules, the CARE Phase 1 rule, resulted in 200,000 jobs in the air pollution sector alone. The number of Boilermakers in the United States increased by 6,700, 35% increase from 1999 to 2001 as a result of one of EPA's standards to implement the Clean Air Act. Or consider the auto industry. For many years, that industry faced a patchwork of state and federal regulations with little long-term clarity. It was President Obama who brought together all the stakeholders, from the auto companies and the auto workers to the environmental groups and state governments, to find a path forward. And now, as a result, we have a Clean Cars program. That program will result in cleaner air, savings at the gas pump for American drivers, and certainly for auto companies. Not long ago, Chrysler committed to adding 1,000 new engineers and technicians to work on small and mid-sized cars. General Motors plans to hire 1,000 people in Michigan to develop low-emission electric vehicles. That could be our story. It could be the story across any number of sectors of our economy. Many American CEOs have made clear that they don't object to sensible standards out of hand. But if they don't know where and when to invest their dollars, they will be holding back job-creating resources. You see, the alternative is better. The alternative is to provide them with certainty. Then when they have certainty, to encourage the hiring of new workers to build, install, maintain, and operate clean technology. And let me say a few words about the jobs we're talking about creating. First, the labor-intensive jobs installing, maintaining, and operating pollution control technology at American facilities cannot be sent overseas. Second, they create opportunities for individuals with a wide range of skills, workers that will be needed in everything from research, design, engineering, construction, installation, maintenance. There will be opportunities for laboratory scientists, as well as pipe fitters, welders, iron workers, laborers. One study explained that environmental protection resulted in broad economic stimulus, including standard jobs for accountants, engineers, computer analysts, clerks, factory workers. Third, many of the facilities would invest in upgrades that are located in industrial centers. Those are the communities where good jobs are needed the most. Investments in clean tech for those facilities would create opportunities for the unemployed and underemployed in many struggling communities. And finally, creating those jobs on our shores can help us sell new technologies that we make here overseas. Huge markets await firms that develop and produce innovative, clean technology. The annual world market for environmental goods and services has been estimated above $700 billion, making it comparable with the aerospace and pharmaceutical industries. America currently leads the world in this industry. We should not forfeit that lead. We should not miss out on the extraordinary opportunities to supply the world with environmental technology stamped made in the USA. Here's the bottom line. We can protect the health of millions of American families and do so in a way that will benefit the economy. We can do that by out-educating, out-building, and out-innovating our competitors, and by using common-sense regulations to spark innovation, reduce toxic pollution, and put people to work protecting our health and our environment. Thank you for all you've done to bring about that future and all you're doing in this effort. I look forward to our work together. Thanks so very much.
Good job.